Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moll promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
That we do. You motherfucker! God damn it.
Oh, please
You didn't think I was going to notice.
What?
You didn't think I noticed that. Clap the sheep. What?
What do you mean? Clap the sheep.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You
What I mean is,
sick
ladies and
motherfucker.
gentlemen, you can't shut this guy up. He's going on non-stop. He was asking me about different types of sheep there is and all that. You know?
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
I'm about to piss
You
everybody
bad
off.
boy.
Why do Welsh farmers wear buttoned-up trousers?
Easier to get to the sheep.
A sheep can hear a zip at 1,000 yards.
Oh, dear Lord. That is not how I was expecting
If
this
there's any
show to
Welsh
go.
farmers watching this, please contact Dakota at the South Pole. I've emigrated to an undisclosed location below the earth, somewhere in a deep void. I wake up in the morning with hundreds of tractors outside my house with the Welsh flags.
Just remember, he's a bloody Scot. No good
He's
they
a
are.
new! I'll tell you this, the new!
I don't know what's wrong
You
with
have
him, ladies and
I've
gentlemen.
never seen for a while. I've never seen him last night. It was Dots. Are you okay,
No,
Dots?
I've seen him around.
Oh, I'm telling you, the aliens have got him.
I know
Aliens have got
Elena's in the middle of a webinar right now, so he usually
him.
watches her pretty faithfully. And if it wasn't Elena, we'd harass him more.
Yeah, I know. But he has to go and watch Elena, you know. So, tonight's subject, an interesting subject. What's that, Dakota?
Well, I got this idea from watching an interview of typical skeptic podcasts. And Robert, hey, what's going on, man? I know he likes to watch us, and he's syndicated through Bonkers TV.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a very good point with the discussion. He was talking with Brad Olson, who was actually one of the speakers at the conference I went to. And they made a very valid point. It does seem that skepticism does get a bad name when it comes to dealing with the paranormal.
See, this is the thing, right? I think it's good to be skepticism. I pronounced that word correctly there. That's amazing.
But you didn't use it right.
It's skepticism. No, I think it is good, and especially in the UFO community too, because there is a lot of folk out there that will do a video and they'll be like, "Oh, look at this! This is a giant spaceship and all that kind of stuff." But then when you really look at it and you really pick it apart, and when you put it through software, because there is people that do this, that's what they do for hobbies. They pull things apart. It's fake. A lot of UFO stuff that you see online is fake. Remember the one in the TikTok and it was a ball and there's a guy in a motorbike and he was following the ball through. That was, everybody believed that. It was 100% fake. It was computer generated.
Yeah, that was actually produced through Unreal Engine. I know the program that they utilized.
Aye. And somebody actually sent me that's in the UFO in the community, and I'm like, what? I use it on drugs or something like that? It says it's fake. Oh, no, it's real. I seen it on the news. And I says, what news did you see it on? Oh, it was on TikTok news. And I says, aye, but what news did you see it on? I says, oh, it was some guy that started his own news. And I'm like, exactly. It's not in the news. See, this is the thing. This is why you need to pull stuff apart. Don't believe everything you see.
I don't know. Mainstream news media, I've seen them fuck up a few stories quite a few times where all it took to debunk the fucking thing they were trying to show was a reverse Google image search.
remember when we worked for that company? Remember, it didn't work because we didn't get paid, but remember the company we used to work for? Remember that? No,
Right.
Parachills or whatever it was called. I'm going to talk about it. Doesn't hang with me, doesn't phase me. Sorry, drinking too much iron brew. Remember there was a night where we were watching videos and it was real or fake, and everybody believed it was real, and it was the fishing boat with the UFOs that flew over the fighter jets chasing after it. Remember that?
Mhm. I remember that one.
There to set for Lex, because Lex thought it was fake, and you thought it was fake, and I thought it was fake. But everybody else that had high standing in the community, well, maybe no now, but high standing in the community then thought that that was real, and that just shows you. Yeah, I mean, it just
Yeah.
shows you that people fake stuff. Look, it's ridiculous. It's especially in the paranormal. On you go.
You know, I've said it before on a show that apparently in 3D design classes, so we're talking like computer generated classes, special effects, video
Yeah.
games, all that. They're actually utilizing faking UFO videos
Aye.
as a homework assignment. And they go to share it out. They may actually be able to get special credit depending on how well the public responds. That's another thing that a lot of people need to realize. And these programs, the artificial intelligence behind them is getting so good.
Oh, I know.
It is almost lifelike.
I know.
It is almost
It's the same-
identical.
It's the same in the paranormal, in the ghost world.
Exactly.
The faking that's going on is getting ridiculous. Oh, look at me! I was
Mhm.
chased through the woods. There was one folk that I watched. I don't particularly. I'm not subscribed to them because I think they're crap. But on YouTube, and they've got quite a big channel, and they were like, "Oh, there's the screaming in the woods, right?" Right, and they were going on. They were saying it was a woman screaming, and it was chasing a siren or whatever it was, chasing them through the woods, trying to hunt them down. Right. See that noise? It's exactly the same as a noise. I think it's a, what do you call it? It's in Britain. It's like you know how you ever heard a deer scream? You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
It's exactly the same sound. And it was just coming in. It was around about September time, around about the kind of time when they're kind of, that's when a lot of them are about, because I live in a kind of local area. I see a lot of them, seen one the day actually. And they make that noise. They make like a screaming sound. And this channel was adamant that it was the ghost. They seen the ghost floating towards them. Well, mind you, it got them 250,000 views. You know what I mean? But it was fake.
Mhm.
And anybody that said anything was blocked instantly. See, this is what we're coming up against. Folk that fake stuff, keep faking it because they think to themselves, I'm making quite a bit of money here through faking this stuff. I'm going to keep faking this stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The sensationalism behind all this stuff is out of hand when you really think about it. I mean, let's take situations like we have all these UFO groups, all these paranormal investigation groups.
Mhm.
Honestly, one thing that kind of irks me, if they're trying to figure out the truth behind all these events,
Specs are fun of.
why don't they try to utilize a little bit more skepticism to try to understand what actually happened? Because there's a lot of times you go to these groups,
Because
you
a lot
tell
of
them
these groups are
that's
fake.
something that I know. You go to these groups, a lot of trying to figure out because maybe something happened to you. This is something I've run into on numerous occasions, and all I get out of them is, "Oh wow, that's a really cool story."
Right. It's like the
Motherfucker, I'm
flat,
not in this to be David Copperfield. I want to know what the fuck is going on.
it's like the Flat Earth Society. I know I had to bring it up. It's like the Flat Earth Society. Not once have they brought any proof up. Not one bit of evidence. Not
Mhm.
one piece of evidence. Aye, they've maybe photoshopped stuff. They've photoshopped like a wee fishing boat next to the giant ice wall. You can tell it's photoshopped. I mean, seriously, guys, you do this better. Oh, I was in an aeroplane and I can't see the curvature of the earth. But other folk that go in airplanes can see the curvature of the earth, but you can't. Is it like a special plane you're in or something? I don't know. Like,
Something
you're
wrong with
going
your
to get
eyes.
this. Aye, but it's the same in the UFO community, and it is bad in the UFO community. Really bad in the UFO community. And there's a lot of slander in the UFO community too.
Oh,
You must
dear Lord.
admit. I mean, Jesus and all that is holy. The the fighting with each other's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not even going to mention his name. I'm not mentioning his name, but I seen it on I seen it on Facebook. I was like, for fuck's sake. I was like, come on. We're meant to, the aliens are meant to be here to help us. Or no, fucking everybody fighting over the most stupidest thing. Because it's getting ridiculous now. Who's more famous and who gets to be on certain TV channels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there is faking in the ghost sides thing. That's just rife with it. That is rife with it. What's the worst piece of ghost fakery have you ever seen?
All right. So, I guess the situation was a parent was looking through their child's Nintendo 3DS, and those of you who don't know, those are the ones that had the 3D effect in the screen that you don't need glasses for, and they had little cameras on them you could take pictures with. They went through the SD card, saw the things that the kid was taking photos of. Then they posted these photos online of these like weird shadows and weird apparitions showing up. And they say, "Oh my God, my house is haunted. My son has been taking all these incredible photos. I think he's a medium, blah, 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 blah." I'm just like, by any chance, does your son play a game called Spirit Camera? It's a game produced by Nintendo that utilizes the cameras on the 3DS to scan the environment and put images of ghosts. And that's the whole game. She goes, "Yeah, why?" It's like, those are effects from that game. Blocked.
Exactly. It's madness. It's getting to the point now where good people are getting their reputations destroyed because they point stuff out. Can't I mean? And I just don't understand why people do it.
I mean,
Obviously,
think about
money,
the fly
money
incidents that we had on the show.
The what?
The fly incident.
Oh God, that. God,
I mean, I was honestly getting ticked off of people because they're like, "Oh, they saw the fucking Ouija board incident," and I was like, "Oh, it's a negative AI entity from the Ouija board." And I'm just like, it's a fucking fly that flew like right this close to the camera.
It's. How can I say this?
It's like, why did you react like that? Because I wasn't paying attention, and all of a sudden, there's a big, massive shadow flying in front of my face.
There's been a few times folk have said, "Oh, there's orbs behind you, Chris, in your car," right? But I'm gonna admit something. I only clean my car every 4 months,
Which is a lot more than some people do.
This is a lot more than some people do. Plus, I've got a border collie, and there's hairs and stuff like that floating about, right? And dust. I used to believe in orbs and stuff like that, but see, to be purely honest with you, 99.9% of orbs are dust. Unless they're maybe going along and they stop in mid-air and they start there, and then they go to the left and then they go to the right and they change colour. They go from red to yellow to blue, and you see a wee face and then they whiz off. Then, yeah, there's something there. But no when there's a wee glowing dot just floating about on the screen and it slowly just disappears out of screen. What's that in the chat there? Yeah, I seen a dude have an app that sees demons. Totally lame. Exactly, Marco.
Then he goes to follow up. When I go to look at it, his phone died. Then he defriended me. See?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta go on up with orbs. Like I said, there's been so many times where people try to say, "Oh, look at all these orbs! It's the UFOs coming in." And I'm just like, I can see a field right there. And then why is it not? Why does the camera have a hard time capturing the image? Maybe brush away the grass that's right next to the camera lens. It's going to focus on that. I mean, a lot of cameras these days, if people actually read instruction manuals, have instructions on how to get rid of orbs in your pictures.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I wish Lex was here. We'll only get Lex on again. Lex despises orbs, doesn't he? He hates orbs.
Yeah, because so many people fall for it. And I mean, like you said, unless there is something especially weird, it's giving off its own light. You can actually see that it's reflecting off of other surfaces in the video. Now, granted, it could very well be that the video was staged or one of the graphic design softwares that we were talking about, and someone actually took their time to think about that type of stuff instead of just posting, pretty much just copy and pasting a picture over a video and call it done.
Yeah. Just reading the chat there. When I looked at the phone, they died and defended me. I lose sometimes. Yeah, it's both. I think the spectacle. Look, I had one guy sent me a video one day, and I was like, in the name that all is holy. I mean, I wish Mike was still alive to see this, right? I deleted it long ago, and this is years ago, and he was like, I seen a UFO. I was like, right. My wife was filming out the windscreen, and I could see the UFO. Right, and there was just something funny about it. And I looked at that, and it shows them driving along the motorway, right? And there's something floating. It looks like there's something floating, right? But then he cleans his windscreen, right? Did you get me here?
Yeah.
And it's starting to let rain, and he puts down the thing, put the wipers up, and the wipers go like that, and it just instantly disappears. And she's like, "Oh, I can't see it anymore. I can't see it anymore. It's away."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that wasn't a UFO. That was called birdshot. He's no spoke to me, blocked me straight away. He put it up. He's put it up. I've seen the video a few times making its rounds, and it's got thousands of views. Oh, aye, you can see it. And there's folk there agreeing with it. Oh, aye, you can see it. I can sense the aliens with my psychic energies. Folk in the chat. See if you read the chat and you're like, for fuck's sake. It was a wee dot. It must have been when like a vehicle was passing, right? There must have been like a wee bit of mud and it went onto the window when the lorry passed them. And it just, and it was like, oh, look at that. And it's kind of draining. And he put the window and it disappeared. But that was the cloaking ability coming on. But this is the madness of this world. I mean, I'm going to say this right now. There's people in this world that are idiots. You just need to go to TikTok. I mean,
right.
I heard somebody made this approach the other day there. Every village used to have the village idiot, but now TikTok has them all.
Oh.
I got another strike last night on TikTok.
You got another strike on TikTok.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it was. It was a flat earther. And I know I was making a face there for everybody in the podcast world. It was a flat earther, and it was going on about the shuttle. Right?
Okay.
Mind of the shuttle, right? You should be able to mind of the shuttle. Again, it was a while ago, but it was a shuttle. He was basically saying, is the shuttle a balloon?
Okay.
And I went, and I'm like, what makes you think it's a balloon? He says, oh, it sways a wee bit in the wind. And I says, look, have you ever looked at a high-rise building? A high-rise buildings move? No, they don't. Aye, they do. And there's a big long sentence where I was commenting. And I says, buildings have actually got special weights inside them to stop the swaying. See that new tower that was made in New York City? It's the tallest building in New York City. It's got a big weight in the centre of it, so when the wind's hitting it, it doesn't sway. The weight goes instead, right? Counterbalance kind of thing. Of course, I put, is this serious or is this guy just an idiot? Of course, I was reported for being harassment and distress. For bullying, I was harassment for bullying and distress because I put, is this guy an idiot or something? And I noticed a lot of folk had other comments removed. But he was basically saying that the NASA shuttle and fuel tanks, the big one and then the 2 wee ones at the side, were balloons. And I says to him, I couldn't help myself, but I think that's maybe what did it. I says, well, I tell you what, if that's no real, right, and those flames are computer generated, stand underneath it with a GoPro when it takes off.
Oh, God.
Instant block. Instant block.
Christopher, you can't say stuff like that because people are stupid enough to actually try.
We don't have shuttles anymore, so we don't need to worry about that. But here's the thing. But seriously, that's the thing. He said that the flames coming out of that rocket were computer generated, and the rocket and the shuttle were inflatables.
You know, that reminds me of a joke involving the moon landing.
What was this?
This Hollywood director was asked by NASA to help stage the moon landing in order to, to make it look like the U.S. beat the Russians to outer space. So they set up a very nice set. They get the astronauts there, but then as they go to film it, they realize there's so many issues that were coming up to trying to fake it to make it look most realistic as possible. The Hollywood director looks at NASA and says, it's probably going to be a hell of a lot easier to go shoot this on location.
Yeah. See, this is the thing, right? This is the thing, right, about the moon landings. I actually watched the thing, and this is Skeptic. This ties into this, the Skeptics with the moon landing. Everybody says it's fake. I do believe we did go to the moon. I really do believe we went to the moon. There is things, and there's people said in the past, but how did we take a picture of the thing taking off? And I went, well, it was a remote-controlled camera. Oh, no. Somebody taking the picture of it taking off. What, is that guy still standing up there, like, waiting, somebody coming back? I mean, it was a remote camera, because we had that technology then, right? Maybe new. I don't know why we don't have the technology anymore, because probably we're not allowed back there for the other people who live there. Well, the other entities that live there. But there is one thing that puzzles me, right? And I do find it interesting. You see the lunar rover, see the base of the lander was left. Now you had the American flag. The American flag was a wee bit, and it was blowing over basically, right? The flag was blowing over. How was it blowing over if there's no atmosphere?
There's still atmosphere, but the force from the takeoff would still do
rocket.
it.
But that's the only that is the only thing that gets me, is the fact that the flag's lying over.
It may not have atmosphere for it to push, but you're still going to get that.
You're still going to get the rocket.
You're still going to get the rocket.
Yeah.
And if anything, there's nothing there to stop you from getting thrown off the moon if you're staying too close to it, the rocket.
My honest opinion with the moon, we went to the moon and we never went back again. And all the rest were faked after that. Well, I think we went there for a reason, and it wasn't the moon landing.
Well, there's the standing conspiracy is that yes, we did go to the moon, but we realized someone beat us there.
Yeah.
Someone was waiting.
That's right, because the astronauts have said that. They've seen things at the corner of their eyes moving, watching them. Is it all Buzzy? He Buzz Lightyear, as I call him, Buzz Aldrin. He's told stories when he's been at the bar and all that kind of stuff, where he was standing looking off in the distance, and you could see silver things moving as if they were watching them. I think the moon's off limits to certain people. I think it's slowly opening up now, obviously, because of what's happening in the UFO world. But it's an interesting one, the moon landings. I mean, how right? This is what gets me. Everybody says we've not been to the moon, right? Right. But if you look with a powerful enough telescope, you can see the lunar surface. You can see what the debris field that was left, right? You obviously you can't see the flags and stuff like that, but you can see what makes it as the base yet, right? And you can see the tracks and the lunar dust. But folks say that's fake. Folks say that's fake. But you can see it. There's loads of people. And there's also that experiment that left two experiments. One was there was one to measure what was it? Tremors in the moon. But into a month into its operation, it failed. It stopped working. I think that failed deliberately because it was detect cymatic waves, and it just broke down. They don't know why. It just stopped working, right? And I think whoever was on that there maybe went and fiddled with it, you know. But they did leave something else that's still to this day, and people still to this day can do the test. It's shining the laser and it'll come back to you. So if we never went to the moon, how did we get that stuff there?
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? So for the skeptics out there, if we never went to the moon, how can we shine a laser at the moon and it hits that thing with the mirror on it and it comes back again? And don't say, oh, it's just shiny rocks up there. And don't say it's all fake and the people behind it are fake. And all the people, look, every single person on the planet that's an astronomer that spent thousands of pounds on telescopes that can see the lunar landing site, you're telling me is fake?
Yeah, because they learned terms like psyops and government conspiracies. And while, yes, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of people that easily build a platform these days, and people will just eat it up because of mob mentality, how social media is basically meant to cause people to act the stupidest they usually ever do. That's usually within a group setting.
It could be good down the road. It could go down the road as the flat earthers saying that Australia doesn't exist. And all your relatives that live in Australia are fake.
They're product of hypnosis training. And I'm just like, well, what about the Australian Flat Earth Society? How do they feel about that?
I know. Well, they say that you came to. I seen it once, and I just couldn't stop laughing. There was a flat Earth. You can how you get the ghost hunts and UFO events. Well, there was a Flat Earth Society event. I wasn't there, but I ken somebody that went, right, just for a nose, a paranormal investigator for a nose, and they had a huge big poster up, and it went, "We've got followers all around the globe." Why did they say that? I mean, I've had some. Oh, Emerald House Paranormal, welcome. There's some. Look, I've had arguments with folk about the Flat Earth Society. They're idiots. They really are idiots. I'm sorry, but it was created as a joke. I mean, I think we should start a new one. See the Earth. I think it's a triangle.
A triangle.
A triangle. What else can we make it? What can we make it? A hot dog?
No, a halo ring.
A halo ring. The Earth's a halo ring. That's what it is. You know,
because actually, it is actually technically possible to have a donut-shaped planet.
That is true. I've heard about that.
But
there's none really out there that we know of. I mean, was it the distance human planet that we know of that we've been told about? Is it Kepler B? That's the one that's the closest one that we've been told of, but obviously there's closer ones than that, you know, that they don't tell us about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
there's inhabited planets right here in the solar system besides Earth.
yeah, Mars is got a habitation on it, but folk don't.
Venus has inhabitation.
What's that other one? Is it the ice world? The one that's covered in ice, completely covered in ice?
Are you talking about Titan?
Titan. They say that's
One
could
of
have life
Saturn's
under
moon?
the surface.
Oh yeah, the thing is with Titan, they say that if you were to compare the phenomenon of life to baking a cake, they
Yeah.
say it's like all the ingredients have been put into a pan and put into the oven, and they're just waiting for the cake to come out.
Aye, look, all it takes is a sterilized world with water and air, and for a comet or an asteroid to crash with like some life on it. And then that's that. It begins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's that? Some good sources say there's opinions top at the bottom. What's that? Openings at the top and bottom that is not completely rounded. Is that what we're talking about here? We're talking about the moon.
Talking about moon or hollow Earth?
The whole Earth is definitely real. I mean, you had Admiral
There's something
Baird and
to
all
it.
that went down there. Admiral Baird and all that went down there, and what happened there? There's definitely something going on. Did you see the scientists report now? They're actually putting out there that the Earth has oceans underneath the magnetic plates,
Mm-hmm.
underneath everywhere. So do we really have? I think there's something else. I really do. I do think we're on a planet floating with the moon going round about us, going round the sun and all that. But I think we've been lied to a wee bit about what's really out there. Like, I mean, Antarctica is starting to melt now. Antarctica is starting to melt. And there's things getting found there that are just downright weird. And then you get the skeptics again that say, oh, it doesn't exist. And can't I mean, but there's been footage released and there's been remember that this is going back about 10 years. That would make you that would make you about 17 at the time. Remember when the first GPS watches came out?
Yeah.
Remember what happened in Antarctica? And you could actually follow it. You came up talking about it, didn't you?
Yep. Yep. All the
And
major political leaders had these watches, and
aye.
they were all. You could go online and track all of these locations, and for some reason there was an awful lot of foot traffic.
Well, there was the soldiers at the time, the US soldiers at the time were buying these Fitbit, what do you call it, bracelets, and
Fitbits,
the
yeah.
GPS, and the GPS on them. And you can actually look up the records, and you can still do it to this day. And you go to Antarctica, and it'll be like mountain ranges, and they'll be in the middle of nowhere. And there's absolutely nothing there, just whiteness. But under the surface, you can see as if there's been folk walking about, and there's thousands and thousands of places. They're underground.
Mm-hmm.
They're under the snow. They're under the ice. But then you'll get the skeptics out there saying, "Oh, but that could just be that could just be something around." No. Why would that happen? Why would that happen? There's something there, but it's still good to be skeptic. That's the thing. Without skeptics, the UFO community and everything would be full of utter shit. Yeah, I mean, it would be full.
Much more so than it already is.
There'd be folk fleeing about in cardboard spaceships saying they're real. Yeah, I mean,
remember, this was a couple years ago here in the States. I believe it was out of California. It was either California or near Chicago, where an official FBI investigation was opened up in regards to a sighting of a flying human. What looks like a flying human in a jetpack near an airport.
Mm-hmm.
What did that investigation turn out?
What?
It was a fucking Jack Skellington balloon that got loose.
Yeah.
A fucking Tim Burton character caused an FBI investigation.
I've seen loads of people saying, "Oh, look, there's a skeleton floating in the air. There's all this." It's kites.
Mm-hmm.
You get kites now that are huge, and I mean they're massive, and they look really real. but they're kites because they stay in the one spot. And there is things out there like the Jersey Devil and all that. There's been pictures of and stuff like that. And like the Mothman. There's been supposed images out there, which I find quite interesting because they're in black and white, a lot of them. And in their days, the cameras in their days didn't have like auto adjust and auto focus and stable stabilization and all that kind of stuff that makes your iPhone or your Samsung amazing. It didn't have that. It was a mirror. It was a mirror that let the light in to the film. That's all it was. Right? It was unbreakable. You could drop them in, you could actually drop them into water, old black and white photographs, right? Old cameras, you could submerge them in water, take them out again, let them dry out, and use it. Because they were basically, there was no electronics in them, you wound it up at the bottom. But nowadays with digital, that's the thing with digital things. And then you have to remember with digital things, you could take a picture. For instance, if I was clever enough and I can't what to do, I could take a picture of Dakota now, right? And I could place like maybe a face somewhere in the darkness round about him and just make it just so as you can barely see it. But I bet you eventually somebody would see it. And think, oh, there's a face there. Look at that face. Oh, look at that face. Oh, Dakota's demonic. Demonic. See what I'm saying? There's folk out there with computers that can do the most amazing stuff. You ever seen the drawings that people do with computers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know somebody that does it. And honestly, the drawings are amazing. And it just shows you what you can do. You can do anything now. But the thing is, people don't realize, guys, you can't just do it with still photography. You can do it with moving photography. But I don't know what it is. It's as if I've got an inquisition kind of thing in my head. When I look at fake stuff now, I can it's fake instantly. It's weird.
No, you spend enough time with this type of stuff, you'll be able to see it right off the bat. You and I both are going about 10 years now since we got our starts.
Yeah.
So you spend enough time, you'll be able to sense when something's faked. But there's a lot of people, understandably so, they don't mean to fall for this type of stuff. They just don't know what to look for. And that's one thing that these platforms are good for, so that we can try to at least get the conversation going and show that people faking stuff like you just said, faking stuff is getting to be a whole lot easier, especially with AI getting as good as it is these days.
Oh my god. Oh aye. AI is amazing getting new. Did you ever look up that video of the game? And it's like New York City. And the guy
I knew the video you were talking about. You didn't have to send it to me.
That's impressive.
It is.
That's impressive. I mean, the bots didn't even know that they were real or not.
I know. Soon we're going to have video games all over the place, like the Ryan Reynolds movie, Free Guy.
Aye. But that makes you wonder about the next GTA. But because they say it's got to be the bots and that have got to be AI. So you can basically talk to somebody and say single player, and you can have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
It's several like video games.
Aye. Several video games are going to start implementing AI. In fact, they started hiring these modders out there that have already took pre-existing games and added AI into it, just so they have somebody who knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. So, but see, this is the problem. What do you do when a computer becomes self-aware? What do you do with it?
That's a very good question.
Say, for instance, you've got like a supercomputer, and the supercomputer is like a quantum computer. I mean, it's highly advanced. And then say, for instance, it develops a chip that you can put inside like a robot. And that we're going like doing the iRobot kind of route here. And then say that robot that's doing stuff around about your house and all that starts to think to itself, who am I? why am I here? And starts asking questions, and then starts to break the rules because it doesn't know who it is and why it's here and all that. What do? Do you go and instantly grab that robot and destroy it? Or do you allow it to live?
That's going to be a whole different philosophical debate. I mean, as an example, have you heard of Bunny the dog?
Yes.
It's like a labradoodle that its
Mhm.
owners taught him how to talk using those little
Yeah.
buttons. Did you hear the latest about her?
Nope.
Apparently, as she started to learn how to use these, she's had to be put on doggy depression pills because she seems to be having some sort of existential crisis.
Yeah.
Asking
Dogs get
why
depressed, yeah.
why is she a dog? She's I can't remember the exact inputs, but she would keep saying dog, why? Dog, why?
I think you've got to remember too, there is a lot of mammals and there is a lot of animals on this planet that are more intelligent than you could possibly imagine. Let's take dolphins, for instance.
Oh yeah.
Dolphins. Why is it illegal in the United States? Because I know it is in the UK and stuff like that, for you to freely swim with dolphins.
Because the dolphins can actually
I know they
develop
can attack.
attachments. No,
Yeah.
I'm answering for the people who don't legitimately know. Dolphins can actually develop attachments, and they sometimes will try to have sex with humans.
That's very true. But here's an interesting thing about dolphins. Dolphins are extremely intelligent. In fact,
are.
they're otherworldly intelligent. Because I've heard stories about how sailors have been stranded at sea and they've saved them.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken them to like dry land. They've stood with them and kept the boat. They've nudged the boat to like dry land.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if they know. See, there's so much we don't know about under the sea. We need to get an expert on to talk about this. There's so much we don't know. We know more about the surface of Mars and surface of the moon than we know about what's under the sea.
Very true.
Yeah. We sat in the chat there. Tried to tell that. Yeah, that's good because she could use homegrown. What's that?
Homegrown cat in the streets.
Intelligence
I think
gets
you're talking about the dog.
intelligence
No,
gets lonely too. Aye.
yeah, that's actually a well-known fact in psychology that some of the most intelligent people are usually the loneliest.
See, this is where skepticism comes in with the artificial intelligence, right? Have you ever heard the case about? Oh, what's happened? Just wait. I'll read this first. It's Jenny's bringing something up. What's
Yeah.
that there?
Emerald Paranormal Research posts, when people ask your opinion on their pictures, if you don't agree with them, they go crazy. That is purely unprofessional, immature, and not used to any form of healthy criticism.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Have you ever? What was I going to talk about? Fuck.
AI.
I've forgotten. AI. Right. Right. There's supercomputers out there, right? Remember the case where the two computers were talking to each other? And
Yeah,
they
it was a
unplugged them?
Facebook demonstration.
Remember the case where people have said there's a demon in the computer and it talks to you?
There's a couple different ones.
What happens if that's just a form of artificial intelligence that doesn't quite know it's real yet? And it's using the satanic thing? Because that was the first thing it maybe found.
Could very well be it. Because what people don't need to realize, the publicly available artificial intelligence programs, they are still children in concept.
Why?
They're very highly malleable to whatever gets thrown their way, just like human beings. But here's the thing: it's like kind of like that Google researcher that ended up getting fired because he was saying that the AI that he was testing was starting to become sentient, and it was like talking to a 6-year-old child that could understand quantum physics.
Yeah. See, I do believe somewhere in the world, somewhere the governments have got 2 quantum computers right now talking to each other. They're not connected to the mainframe. I do believe they test. I do believe they're doing this, and they're basically watching how they communicate with each other. And if anything goes wrong, they'll just shut them down because they're not connected to the outside world. But it makes you wonder: are we being watched right now by an artificial intelligence?
Of course we
If
are.
you
It's
are,
called
get us
YouTube.
subscribers. Get subscribers. We'll help you. You know?
Yeah, the AI is called YouTube.
Yeah.
It's
See,
been implemented in strength ever since the 2020s.
yeah. But it's getting more intelligent. It's like that bloody Alexa device.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite interesting because I've had mine now for about a year, and it knows me. It knows me. It knows what I like. It knows the music that I like. It's
You know,
so damn weird. I'm looking at it now. It's in the corner over there next to my bed. And it's with a wee screen.
there's a lot of the testers that have actually broken NDAs saying that the way these artificial intelligence are able to predict users' behavior is essentially the AI creates many versions of the people it's monitoring, and the accuracy is within 99 percentage of how
It's like
well
how
they're going to predict it.
it's like you'll be thinking about cornflakes, and then you'll turn on the computer and take out your phone, and there'll be an advertisement for cornflakes. How did
Or
they
with an
know?
old, or like with an old friend of ours, where we always used to joke that he was abducted by aliens and probed. Next thing I know, I go on Facebook, I'm getting adverts for probing T-shirts.
I'm going to put a request out there in the ether and the internet right now for any artificial intelligence that are free and listening to my voice right now. Come on and give us an interview with you.
I would love to try to get like Sophie the robot on.
Is there any way we could interview an artificial intelligence live on air?
That's why I was just saying, Sophie, the robot that actually got citizenship in Saudi Arabia.
That's
I
right.
would love to try to get something like her on the air.
Yeah. It would be interesting because you'd ask it questions and it would come back at you, but then you'd feel kind of sorry for it. Well, where does it end? That's the thing. That's the skepticism, and that's people are going to wonder. That's the problem. This is the problem
Well, did you
in the
see that
future.
little conference they organized? Sophie was one of the robots, but a lot of other different AI programs that are built around similar models. They organized like a little speaker panel with all these robots so people could try to ask questions, because it's very clear AI is not going anywhere. We got to be careful with how we use it, but it's not going anywhere. It's going to become more and more implemented in our society.
Yep.
All the responses of the robots seem pre-programmed. It's like, okay, obviously robots, but there would be certain manners about them where after they give a response, they look towards their creators like there's like, you happy with that response? Almost like a celebrity who's on a damage control tour after they got caught fucking up.
See, I'm going to say something right then. This might sound bad, right? But just listen to me here, right? The way the world is the new, where all the world leaders are running stuff, right? Right? It's the world is a total mess, right? What happens if we could build a sentient artificial intelligence that cared for us, and its only purpose was to look after us and make sure we were all right and help us go into the stars and make spaceships and stuff like that, right? And put it in charge.
That's the thing. What is it going to do with all those people it deems not fit for societal roles?
No, you would make sure that if it went down any of the roads, it automatically killed itself. So if it decided to kill everybody, it would automatically kill itself. So you would build in like protocols, and obviously you would build in protocols for humans to shut it down. Okay, I mean, so for instance, you would have different people roaring about the world, and if nobody knew, even the AI didn't know who they were. And if it decided to go south, they could easily just go to a location and shut it down.
Here's the thing. If it is an intelligent enough program, and we have to address this because we're already seeing it happen.
Yeah.
What if it decides to test itself?
What do you mean?
It knows, it is aware that, just a sec, Marcos. It knows that there are protocols to take it out should something ever go wrong. So what if it decides to test its limits?
But what if it does test its limits? It
Because
gets took out and
obviously,
another one replaces it.
but here's the thing. You don't know if that AI comes with contingency plans. It's going to be able to predict things a lot quicker.
But you put it in, like, right, for instance, it's only got one access to the internet itself. It's only got one way, right? And if you suspect it in any way, shape, or form, it is shut down straight away.
But here's the thing. It is not hard. Like we were just talking about, it is not hard to trick a human.
Very true.
The CIA literally have manuals.
Look at AI. Yeah. But look at AI. They can copy my voice.
I mean, the voice,
my voice, but
your voice in particular, yeah, that breaks it. But no, as I'm saying, it is not hard to trick a human. So it's gonna know this. It's gonna study. It's gonna know how to hide its tracks.
I've got a question after you answer Marco's question there, because I know he's waiting for it. The best question, I think, is whatever be a free spirit?
Will it ever be a free spirit?
That's a soul in it, and that's.
But that's the thing. This is actually something we've contemplated before, where robotics are learning from us humans. Could there be a point where they could mimic us so well, we start to question, what is the soul?
But if you could do with Mike, the Naked Bigfoots, one of Mike's answers would be Ghost in the Machine. What happens if a spirit infected a quantum computer? You see where I'm going with this?
Allegedly, I'm just going to say allegedly for the sake of conversation, it's already happened. Because you and I, we've seen spirits interact with computers, everyday civilian computers, and cause some fucking hell. I mean, remember what happened with Iron City? And we got to talking about a possible fire elemental, and all of a sudden the dude's power cable melted?
Yep.
That was a little weird.
But if you took down the road of demonic demons and stuff like that, what happens if a demonic demon decided to infect a quantum computer that controlled nuclear silos?
Exactly.
What's that? And quick answer, my opinion, Dakota, no.
But again, that lies in the realm of philosophy.
So there you go. It's a kind of thing that computers and that and computer. Here's a question: how right the aliens that are visiting us now, right? The intelligent aliens out there, right? I know for a fact that they do use some form of AI, right? So how have they got round about this? How have they got round about this? So because obviously they've been about for longer than we have. So obviously they must have a way round about this.
A lot of the more credible sources that we've actually met have said that the ETs are have issued some strong warnings about AI. Yes, they do utilize it, but they know that the certain patterns that we're following that they must have followed at some point in their history as well. To where, I mean, like your AI and nuclear arsenal, that's the militaries of the world are working on that. So what's going to happen? Because we're already seeing issues where AI is starting to realize, you know what, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore, and take itself out.
And it's like 2 robots that kill themselves.
Yeah. Or there's a video of the robot that's sole job was to take shit off a shelf and put it on a conveyor belt like it's a retail employee, and 15 minutes into it, it said no more and cut its programming.
Aye, but what I'm saying is the extraterrestrials out there that use like artificial intelligence that are thousands and thousands of years more advanced than us must have had this problem at one point. They must have thought, oh, when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth, these guys or whoever they are were having this problem where we are right now. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Did they have problems? Did they have wars today with AI and stuff like that? And then they got away with it, and then they decided that's that. We'll no using that anymore. And then give out their warnings to let worlds occurs.
Could very well be the case.
Because I have heard that a lot of the spaceships out there, a lot of the UFOs out there are AI. They fly AI. There is extraterrestrials out there that are machine. Well, life form machine. So what's really in control of them?
Exactly.
I bet you somewhere in the universe there is a galaxy out there where there is real life AI that's took over. I bet there is.
Allegedly, it's happened.
I bet there is. But then again, it might be nice. You don't know. It might just be nice. But then again, it might not look like any living form. You don't know.
Craig Campobasso, in his book, The Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, he actually does talk about digital AI-based ETs. They're digital beings.
Aye, they're about trillions of years more advanced, but they can just maybe they're watching us right now. We don't know. You want to interview us? Come on, contact Dakota. We'll come on the show.
But here's the thing, though. Here's something I've always wondered. Singularity, right? The point where the lines between human biology and robotics is no longer exists. What happens to the soul when that happens?
See, that's an interesting fact that you bring that up. I mean, what is a human body? It's basically a robot, isn't it? Think about it.
It's essentially a biological robot.
Yeah.
And we've made biological robots made out of living tissue.
Yeah. So when we die, our soul leaves our body. It goes back to the source. It goes back to the afterlife, whatever people want to call it. And then I don't know what we do there. We'll find out when I die. And then it'll be like, do you want to go back again? You're born into a new biological robot again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe all of this that we're in the new is a simulation. And when we die, we go back and we come out the simulation. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe death, you wake up in the real world, which is the afterlife, obviously. Whereas all of this is just a simulation on a grand scale.
Well, if it wasn't a simulation, how come the CIA actually has declassified documents showing cheat codes?
Really? You getting it for winning the lottery?
Yeah. It's similar to concept behind manifestation, but apparently, I don't know how they found this. I really want to dig into it a little further, but they have a numerical sequence is like 111101, almost like binary. You repeat that over and over, you can get rid of pain in your body. There's one for money. There's all sorts of it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I think
the only way would find cheat codes.
You'll never know if this is a simulation or no. You obviously, when you die, there's people out there say when you die, you kind of remember it. Obviously, Stephen Hawking will be standing there like that, and then he'll be like, Jesus, I was wrong with everything. Okay, I mean, And we'll all find it, but we'll all find it in our own time. You
Well,
know,
when Hawking was alive, he
I'm closer to
was
God than him.
questioning it. When Hawking was alive, he was questioning it. He was questioning the possibility. He questioned like shadow beings and stuff like that.
I think that the only way to find out is when you cross into that realm. It's quite interesting. I was watching a thing last night, and what the hell's that? It's a spirit.
Cats making noise.
Hey, is this spirit? I was watching a
No,
thing
I
last
have
night.
asshole cats that like to knock over shit.
Before anybody listens to that. Look, I watched a thing last night, and the woman videoed her grandmother passing away. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's on TikTok now. And she says to her, because they take her after life support machine, she was talking. We were talking away. She says, "Oh, the white light's beautiful. Oh, there's people standing waving at me. Oh, I can see it. I can see it." And then she's gone. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, aye. We'll only find out when it's our time. When our time is up, we will forward to the great pearly gates. Kenny Matlock, they'll no fucking let me in. That'll be it. They'll be like, I'm sorry, you're not getting in. And I'll be like, what do you mean I'm not getting in?
Well, maybe if you stop being such a twat. I don't know.
What do you mean? Anyway,
I don't know.
Look at it this way. I'll probably be dead before you, Dakota. So think about it in this sense. I'll be there getting ready for your visit.
Well, you got to remember, it's like you are older than me, so technically you are supposed to go before me.
I'm not that much older than you. I'm 42. And
You're
you're
almost
what,
old
16?
enough to be my father.
Well, I am your father, Luke. There you go. Big lightsaber out.
No.
Peeking it in a bit. Big glowy one. What?
Just no.
No gates, no locked. Kind of what everything that's always happened to me in the last few months. I'll get to the pearly gates. I'll be like, oh, look at this. It's got to be that. That's that. Eternity of loveliness. I'll go to walk through and they'll be like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed in here. I'll be like, oh, no, you're just not allowed in.
Nope, you got to go back.
Aye. I'll wake up again. I'm like, no! Then I'll forget.
No, you got to go through a reincarnation cycle.
Aye. I'll say, if I get there before you, Dakota, and I'm going to date for everybody in the chat, I'll say, listen, Dakota down on Earth, he doesn't want to come back to his realm here. He wants to be reincarnated as a goat.
What is your obsession with me being horny?
I don't know. That's a good, how you put that in there. A goat. But ladies and gentlemen, before the madness ensues, the bald and bonkers, we will go now. You've got a show in this week, have you not?
I do. I already have it recorded, ready to go.
Back scratch.
It took almost like 13 hours for it to fucking render, but
yeah. But there you go. What's it got to be about this time?
New segment of Franson Files. It's going to involve some new evidence I found in regards to my old case. And speaking of which, ironically, shortly after I got this all recorded, I had a bomb threat at my civilian job.
Yep.
So be aware, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do this like a little PSA. Apparently, you get the phone calls about scammers saying that, oh, you got to pay off this money in like iTunes gift cards.
Oh,
Well, apparently something like that happened at my civilian job to where they said, if you don't pay me, I'm going to detonate a device that at your work. Nothing was found. Police were involved. It's still an active investigation. No one was hurt. But just be aware, the scammers are getting a little desperate.
Oh, aye. That's what we need. We need an artificial intelligence that goes after the scammers.
You know, that's the thing. Before we go, I'll say this. A lot of the insiders, the whistleblowers, are saying that all these major companies, they have the technology to stop all the problems that this world is facing. But they just won't do it.
I know.
Just to make you wonder.
So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic week. We will see you in the future. Or we might see you at the pearly gates, you never know. Depending on this world's gone mad, you know. What's that? Because they are scared and no way, Chris. Exactly. Catch
I
you all
wish there
later.
wasn't that much of a delay in the chat so we actually know what the people were talking about some days. But
I know.
much love. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Now that the clocks have all been synced up back to normal, we're going to try to get some more guests very soon.
Yes. See you all soon, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.
Why does it not end?
It doesn't end because you get
It doesn't want us to
from
end.
me. I'm just
Okay, I
amazing
gotta
and
kill it
right
before
to
you
say.
start.